We went through all of the options on the left sidebar, here on the top sidebar. Let's now switch to the right sidebar. You've noticed me kind of do a couple of clicks there, but I didn't try to focus in on it too much when we were first exploring all of the other options, and that's for a reason. And the reason is right now you can see that there are no other elements that we've created in the canvas and nothing is selected, so the only option I have is to change the background of the canvas that I'm working on. And I have some export options. We'll go through those later, so don't worry. But let's now draw a simple rectangle. Okay, so it's in here, and as soon as I select it by pressing on it, you can see some options appear on the right sidebar. That's how Figma works. As soon as you select something on the screen, all of the options connected to the element that you've selected appear on the right sidebar. So there's a couple of things that we can do in here. One of them is the position of this element. It's a rectangle on the canvas, so it's basically referencing its starting point from the middle of the canvas, which is 0, 0. Everything on the left side from that starting point in the canvas, the middle point, is considered to go into minus values. And the same thing happens for the y-axis, where you can see now it says minus 600 and something pixels. That means that it's kind of moved upwards from the starting point, the middle point of the canvas, by 622 pixels. So if we hit 0, 0, it's gonna position this point. Figma is always looking for the top left point. It's positioned at the 0, 0 point, so somewhere in the middle of the canvas. And even though Figma's canvas is massive, as you can see, I can move around easily and kind of get lost where some of my items are. You can always use this to zoom in, and if you do get lost, don't forget about the view options in here that can help you get to the selected frame or the next frame and so on. So, okay, that's the X and Y position. One thing to keep in mind is if we have a frame, which is something that we're often going to use for screens that we're going to design, the position now switches from the middle on of the canvas to the starting top left point of a frame. So now I have a rectangle in here, and the position that I have in here, X and Y, is not connected to where it is on the canvas. It's just looking at the frame. And if you hold Option, you can see how far away this item is from some of these lines. So you can see that from the top there is 1019 pixels, which is exactly what we have in here, and on the left side it's 711 pixels, which is exactly the value that we have in here. So as soon as some element is inside a frame, the starting point changes from the canvas middle point to the frame's top left point. So if we enter something like 100 and 100 in here, you're gonna see that this rectangle now is 100 pixels away from the top and from the left edge. So yeah, those are all of the important things when it comes to positioning. Just keep in mind that it works differently depending on this element. You can see that the frame is positioned based on the canvas, since the frame is within that canvas, but the element inside the frame is positioned based on the frame. If I create another frame inside this frame, so you can see the frame 2 is within frame 1, it is again positioned based on the parent frame. While if I move this rectangle inside the frame 2, like I did in here, it's now going to be positioned based on the parent frame of there. So you can see it's now positioned based on the frame 2, not frame 1. And you can see that now these values are going in the negative space because the rectangle itself is 100 pixels away from the main frame, while this one is almost 600 pixels away from the top and 500 pixels from the left. So hopefully that makes sense of the positioning within Figma.